Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chronically Ill Diaries podcast. I'm your host Jane, and today we have Nadia Ortega once again. Super excited because she just recently had a little baby boy, and we catch up, go into details about navigating a pregnancy post kidney transplant, and also into her journey after her transplant. She did go into acute kidney failure at one point and kind of navigating the whole process of planning a pregnancy, what goes into being a mom after having such a life-changing surgery, and just celebrating how amazing she's doing and her baby's doing, and giving hope that no matter what you go through, there is a chance for you to get pregnant and have that baby just like you always dreamt of doing, despite what you're going through right now with your kidney transplant or chronic illness. It's going to happen for you. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. So let's get started. Hi. I don't know.
Hello.
And how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I see are you in the nursery?
Yes, I'm in the baby's room.
How cute. My
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, well, obviously a lot has changed since the last time we talked.
Is it nice to be back in California?
Oh my gosh, it's so nice. I'm so happy. And like going home will be easier now that we're closer and I can drive if I need to, and it's a lot nicer.
That's
But
good. And what about like your doctors? Because like you had to like change doctors to Arizona, right?
so I have a little bit of time to figure it out, but I'm still going to Stanford. So at least I have that main one. But yeah, the rest of them, I'm like, I'll find one eventually. But
Yeah.
the insurance thing is the hard part
Mhm.
because it's expensive and I
Mhm.
don't like it. It's like so expensive. But yeah, how are you doing? How is it being a mom, having a little baby? Like
Yes.
how old is he now?
He's 5 months now. He will be 6 months on February 5th. So he's doing good. He's
Hmm.
just growing and growing. It's crazy to like I mean like you have like babies around you and like you see like your siblings baby or like your cousin's baby and stuff like that. But like it's different to like watch a baby do new things like from like one day to the next.
Hmm.
So I think that's like the most fun part of just like he's like starting to like grab at things now and like if you hand him something like he like reaches to like grab it. Like he can't fully grab it yet, but like it's just like cool to like you can like literally like see him thinking. Like he stares at it and then he moves his hand, so it's really interesting.
He's like slowly developing the motor skills to do stuff.
So it's really interesting to like see it from day to day. So I
Yeah,
like that.
I'm sure he's growing so fast and because he was a preemie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now he's almost 6 months. That's crazy.
Yes, like it's crazy. But like one thing that makes me mad is like when we go out in public and like say like I have him like with me, like people will be like, "Oh yeah, like your baby's so cute." Like, how old is he? Like 3 months? And like this was just like, a couple weeks ago. I'm like, "Oh no, like he's 5 months today." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then I went to Costco. They're like, "Oh, like how old's your baby?" I'm like, "5 months." And they're like, "Oh, he's wow, like he's so cute." But like you can tell that they want to say like, "Oh, he's so little," you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know. That's one thing that bugs me. Like, I don't know why people comment on like sizes of babies.
Yeah, I know. People are so shocked when they're either big or small for their months of being alive. Like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's good that he was so small when he came out because then you didn't have to freaking struggle. But yeah, no, I know. My friend, I think her baby's one now, but he was a very large, like 12-pound baby. And
Oh,
so
wow.
he looks like he's past two already. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's only a year? And it's like, yeah, he's just like huge
Like,
for whatever reason. Like, I don't know why. But yeah, no, I get that totally. But that's so funny. So, I have a few questions for you, but I feel like they're very common questions, fun questions. But yeah, so I think it'll be very interesting to hear how this kind of went for you, especially because I think I told you like I had like that chemical pregnancy or whatever.
Mhm.
So after that, I think it was good that shortly after that I moved to San Diego. And
Mhm.
without friends, it was mentally kind of good because we didn't even try at all. Like none of that was even a thought for a couple months. So I think that really helped me a lot because I was so depressed. Like even into September, my nephew was born. And
Mhm.
I remember it's like so sad to say, but I was like so upset that day. And I feel so bad for even saying that. But I was so upset because I'm just like, I would have been pregnant for like a month right now, or like 2 months, or something like that, like on that week or whatever. And then I was just like depressed and sad and like, I'm so happy for you. He's beautiful.
Yeah, but like having that feeling of like, yeah, and I think that's okay to just like, I don't know, like feel sad for yourself and actually like sit in your own emotions, like be like aware, like, oh, this is how I'm feeling, so.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, like definitely I brought out the good vibes for her and then cried about it in my bed
Put yourself to sleep.
with a little like shot of something. I'm like,
Yeah.
screw it, I could drink.
Yeah,
But
I definitely miss having a drink, so kudos to that.
have you drank anything since?
I had like one night out where I drank like 4 beers.
Mhm.
Um,
How
but
did you
other than
feel after that? Like for not drinking for so long.
Oh my gosh, like I got like a head change like probably like 2 beers in, so then I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna chug the next one so like the head change doesn't go away. And then so I did that, like I just chugged the next one, head change stayed there for a little bit, and then like I drank like the last one like kind of slow.
Mhm.
Um but the next day, like in the morning, like around like 6 a.m., I woke up and threw up. Like throwing up, like had a headache, hungover from
Oh,
off four
never.
beers.
Yeah.
So
You're like, this is my old pregame and now
yes.
I'm throwing up.
At 25 from 4 beers throwing up. So yeah, I think that was not fun. But going out and being out with like friends and just like having a good time, that was like something that I missed. So it was fun.
Yeah. How do you navigate that? Have you been able to have like nights out, or are you pretty much with him all the time?
Yeah, I'm with him all the time. Because I breastfeed from when like I first had him, so like the first like August to October. Well, he was in the NICU for like those first 5 weeks. So like I was just like pumping and like taking milk to him, and then like we were practicing breastfeeding because he wasn't like really like getting the hang of it those first couple weeks when he was there. Until I had like this one nurse. Like I think it was like the day we were going home or like the day before we were going home. And so I had this one nurse who just like I feel like she helped me the most of just like this is what you need to do. This is how his head needs to be, like just like push his head on it. And I was like, okay.
Just head
So I think
on.
from there it was like easier. Um, but since I've been breastfeeding, like strictly breastfeeding, it's been every day with him. So I think that's been like hard mentally because like if you go to Target, it's like okay, like he's gonna be with dad. Are you gonna be okay? Like I just fed him, so he should be okay for like 2 hours. But then like you leave and like it's just like constant anxiety of like is he crying? Is he uncomfortable? Is he okay? So I think that's been like a hard part for like I'm still navigating it. Like my mother-in-law's coming tomorrow. And so I'm excited because like I'm finally gonna be able to like step away. That sounds so bad. Like I'm finally gonna be able to step away,
No.
but
I know what you mean. No, because that's a lot. Like you are like the sole provider for him. And yes, like you have help, but they don't have his food. They aren't the ones spending as much time with him as you are. So it's like it's not the same. And I
yeah,
totally get that. And you also need to like breathe and be able to do something on your own for yourself or
yeah.
just in general. Yeah.
Mhm. Even going to just like go get a coffee or like go to like drive through and like pick up food and just like listen to a song. I think that's that's like a nice escape for like the 15
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, like your mental health is the most important thing. So
Mhm.
obviously you could take care of your baby.
Yeah.
So 100%. Um, so did you guys plan this pregnancy? Because I remember you telling me a long time ago, you were like, oh, well, I switched my meds and yeah, we're just here with the med switch.
Yes, he was a planned baby. I switched my meds, I think like June 2023. Yeah,
Okay,
June 2023. And then we tried for like 6 months, and then I got pregnant. Mm.
nice. 6 months, I feel really isn't that long. Like that's a pretty good timeline.
Yeah. It felt like in the moment, like while it was happening in those 6 months, it didn't feel like a short time, but then like once we were there,
Hmm.
then it was like, oh wow, like we only tried for 6 months. Like we thought like we were gonna have to try it longer, like a year, because like I was also on birth control, so I had to get that out and then switching the meds. So I think it was just like I just had like the the thought like, oh, it's gonna take longer than
6 months, yeah. Was that like your biggest challenge because you were also on birth control? Like, did your doctors have any concerns or whatever when you were telling them that you were trying to get pregnant?
no, honestly, I didn't have any concerns. I think because I was so like healthy in that time of like I was doing I would get this, what's it called? This fluid, like this IV fluid. Like I would go to Stanford and get this IV fluid of belatacept. And then I was also getting, I forgot the name of it because it's been a while, like IFG or IVG or something. But I had to stay overnight at Stanford for like 12 hours and I would get like this fluid combined with belatacept. And then that ended. And then it was just belatacept. So my kidney was in like a really good like state. Like my creatinine was sitting like at zero point 0.7 for like months.
Beautiful. That's such a pretty
So
number.
yeah, it was yeah. Um, so my doctors were very like on board of like trying to get me pregnant. Like yes, like
During
you
that
want
time.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
hmm
What was the IV thing that you were getting?
It was belatacept, and then I think it was called IFG or IVG,
Mhm.
something like that. I can't like remember like the full name of it.
Yeah. What was it for?
It was because my kidney went into rejection, I think, like acute rejection, like in 2022 or the very beginning of 2023. And so I think it was 2022, the beginning of 2022. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so then they just started that to like it was like steroids to like help like my kidney.
Oh, okay.
hmm
No, in
Yeah.
case that ever happens. So it was your creatinine was around like zero point 0.7 before you got pregnant. And then while you were pregnant, did that number fluctuate?
Yes, not so much. Like I would say like from like week 0 up until like I was like 29 weeks, it would stay between like zero point 0.7 and it like would go up to like 1. I think that's like the highest it went to 1. But then when I gave birth, it was 2.0. So like it went up a lot. From like I want to say in the span of like 3 weeks, it went up a lot.
And now are you doing like is it doing better?
Yes, since then it's gone back down to 1.0. So it went down a lot. I'm waiting for it to go back to that zero point 0.7 though. Like that's like my sweetheart mark, so I want it to go back to that.
Yeah, so you normally sit around that number? That's
Yeah.
good.
Like a point 0.7, point 0.8.
Yeah, mine's at 1. But it's been there for like a long t like I would say after 6 months after my surgery, it went up to 1 and
Mhm.
it's just sat there. And that makes me nervous, but at the same time, I know 1 is so low compared to what it was at like 11. Um,
Right.
so 1 really isn't a big deal, but I'm like, can it just go down like the tiniest little bit? Just, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm. No,
But no,
like sometimes I would sit at like a 1 at a 1 too, like during the pregnancy, and I would get concerned. Like I would ask my doctor, like, is that okay? Like, should I be like concerned with something? And they're like, no, like that's still like a person without a kidney transplant can have this, like that's still a really good number to be at. So
yeah. I know. It just anytime that number moves, even by like a point something, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
What's wrong?
Yeah,
What did
what
I
did I
do?
do? For
Yeah.
real. So I assume you were a high risk pregnancy since day
Yes.
one, just automatic.
Yeah.
Um, what would you say? I know this is your first pregnancy, but what would you say would be the biggest differences between this high risk post kidney transplant pregnancy versus like what we generally know from like a normal pregnancy?
Yeah, I would say that like for the first 20 weeks, it's pretty normal. Like you're still seen just by like a regular OB. But once you hit that 20 weeks, like that's when they can do like the anatomy scan on the baby, like make sure the baby's developing how the baby should develop. Um, and so that's when I started to see the high risk OB because they're the ones that performed like the anatomy scan on the baby, make sure the baby's growing. Um, I would say that was a big difference. And then also towards like the end of your pregnancy, you get like you're monitored like an NST. I don't know like the name for it, but it's like NST, and that's just monitoring the baby, like making sure like their heart rate is going how it's supposed to go, and then you're being monitored, like your blood pressure is being monitored at the same time. So like if your blood pressure is high, then they're looking at like, okay, is the baby okay? Um, so I would say that was like the main difference for me of just like having a regular OB, and then I went from one OB to two OBs.
Do you feel like you had to go a lot more often to the doctor or like blood draws or anything like that?
Blood draws, my kidney doctor moved them to every 2 weeks when before it was like I was just getting blood work every month. So instead of once a month, I was doing it twice a month. And then I would get an ultrasound once every month, sometimes two, depending on like I would get one from my regular OB and then I'd get one from the high risk. So I'd get like two ultrasounds a month. When usually I'm not like quite sure, but I think like it would be like every like 3 months you were getting an ultrasound, or like every 7 weeks you'd be getting an ultrasound. Um, so I got to see my baby more often, so that was nice.
Fun. There's not really a downside to that. Okay, so what about last question on that? What about when you would get labs, was there specific things they were checking, or was it just mostly like creatinine levels and like that type of stuff?
Yeah, so the labs were mainly from kidney doctor, so they were just like mainly like checking like my creatinine and like all that.
The normal.
Um, yeah, the
Okay.
normal stuff. And then once in a while, I would have to do the like baby blood work. And but that was like more towards like the end of like my pregnancy, to see if there's like protein in my urine, or to see if like, cause like usually like like for your kidney, like you just do like the urine test for like to see if there's like protein in urine. But
Mhm.
then once I was pregnant, they did this new one to do like I think it was like protein to urine ratio, and that was through blood work. So that was different. And then you do like your like glucose test,
Mm.
like where you drink like that stuff. And then
Yeah, how was that?
it wasn't that bad. It just tasted, I think I tasted like watered down Sprite.
Oh,
So yeah, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be because I watched TikToks on it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be horrible. The drink is gonna be horrible. Um, but no, it was fine. Everything went fine. I did not have the like the diabetes from the baby. So that was nice.
that's good considering everything
Yeah. So I
already.
think that was good. Mhm.
Yeah, obviously, pregnancy lasts a long time. So, what would you say was your favorite and least favorite part of the whole process?
Yes. I would say my favorite part was like I would say like watching my body like grow, and I think like just like constant thinking like I'm growing teeth, I'm growing bones, like I'm growing hair. And I think that was just like cool and weird at the same time to think about, of just like it's just like fascinating. Like like you can like see it of just like, like, oh, she's pregnant. But then like I think like being pregnant and like growing the baby, I think it's just like you just have to start to have these thoughts of just like, oh wow, like this is like what a woman's body can do, and like I think like that was the crazy part. And to be a transplant patient, I think it was just like like that feeling of like rewarding, like I don't know, I would just have these thoughts of like, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do that, or like I'm not gonna be able to carry, I'm not going to get pregnant. I would just have like constantly bad thoughts during like while I was trying. And so to like be there, I think it was like a big like milestone for me of like I can still do this, you know? And like it's not like that for everybody. And so I just felt like blessed to be able to do that. Um
Did you feel like you had a lot of anxiety like throughout the pregnancy because of those things?
yeah, I think it was like constant anxiety of like, am I gonna get my baby kidney failure? Even though it wasn't hereditary or like genetics and things. I think it's still like a worry of like, is he going to get like what I have because of me, or like, is he going to be okay because of my kidney, or it was like, and I think it was like also anxiety for myself, like, am I gonna be okay? Like after I have the baby, like, is my body gonna be okay? Is my kidney going to be okay? Like, I think I was like constantly worried about my kidney and like constantly worried about like, is he going to get kidney failure too? So I think that was, yeah, that was like constant anxiety.
Yeah, I feel like that would be anyone that's had like a transplant of any sort. Like, of course, you want to have a baby and like be normal and have a healthy baby, but at the same time, like, am I going to be okay?
Yeah.
Because I already have so many issues, and now we're throwing in this child like inside of me trying to grow, and my body like already rejects foreign things or whatever, and then we're throwing that in on top of it. So yeah, I totally I totally relate to you on that.
And then I think like during the trying process too, it's like you're thinking about that, right? Of just like, like I want to be normal so bad. And like I hate and like I think I hate that the most of just like what's that word? Like I just want to be normal so bad. And I think like we constantly say that to ourselves of like things that when life things like that happen and we're just supposed to be able to do that, like why do we have to change our medicine, or like why do we have to go, why do we have to plan to get pregnant, like a normal person wouldn't have to do this, or like a normal person wouldn't have to try. And so I think that too, like the battle of in like your mind of just like how come it's like we always have to say like I wish that we were normal, or like I wish this was just normal, you know?
Right. Right. Because also too, like having to plan pregnancies, it also puts so much pressure on the the parents or soon to be parents, because it's like you are now like physically thinking about that every month. Like, did we get pregnant? Did this happen? Did we do this right? Just because you had to like tell your doctor and change your meds and make sure that you were mentally ready to get pregnant versus like, oh, let's just see what happens. And that's
Mhm.
such a more calm way into going into it, because it's like, like whatever, like it can happen.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you're still thinking about it, but
Yeah.
it's so different than like, okay, now I switched my meds. It can happen now. Let's do it. Like, I'm healthy. Let's do it while I'm healthy and blah, 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 blah. And I
Mhm.
feel like that's just so much more pressure and on, especially the woman, because, the guy, I feel like doesn't think about it as much, but who knows? But like,
Yeah.
I doubt that they're like, oh my gosh, they ovulated 3 days ago. Like, I
Mhm.
wonder how it's going in there. Like,
Yeah.
they're not thinking about that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the worst part about pregnancy for me was the heartburn. The heartburn was horrible. It was so bad.
When did that start?
I would say like around like 4 months until I had him. And it was just like with anything I ate. Like it wasn't just like spicy food. It was like if I had Cheez-Its, if I ate an orange, like anything. It was heartburn.
Heartburn. Okay, yeah, I've heard a lot about that, like pregnancy heartburn.
Yes, it's horrible. And like I looked at if you lay on I think it's like if you lay on your left side, then it makes it worse because like the way that your esophagus, your stomach, whatever is shaped. But if you lay on your right side, then usually it's okay. Um,
It was
yeah, I
24/7.
went 24/7. Like as soon as I ate, like my first time eating for the day, like I knew like okay, this is the start of my heartburn. But then once I started taking Tums,
It helped.
it helped a lot. Changed my life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. I think I've only had heartburn a couple times in my life, but when I've had it, it's like very painful. I can't imagine having it 24/7. Like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah. I thought I had like what was it like GERD? Like I felt like I just had like something like constant like stuck in my throat. I'm like, what is this feeling? Like why do I keep feeling like this? And come to find out it was just heartburn.
Just heartburn. Yeah, no
Just
biggie, no biggie. Did I might have asked you this already, but did you have a lot of symptoms like before you found out?
Before I found out, no, I don't think so. I was like car sick. I was getting car sick. And then I remember I ate, because my theory is I got pregnant Christmas, Christmas Day, like that night, Christmas
Mm.
night, of 2023, December 25th of 2023, or 24.
Down to
One of
the
those
date.
days. Yeah, that's my theory. That's the day I got pregnant. Because on New Year's, like this is unlike me, because like it was just unlike me, but hot Cheetos, they used to just like make me feel yucky. But that day on New Year's, I remember we started watching Harry Potter, and I went to Rite Aid, and I got a big bag of hot Cheetos, and I ate the whole bag in one sitting. And I was like, okay. Like I was like craving them. Like I needed to have them. I don't know why. I just needed to have them. And I don't know. So I think that was like my first symptom. That's what I say my first craving was hot Cheetos. And then I was getting car sick. But also I was like actively taking tests too. So I don't know. Like I don't know if it was just like I was in like my head because like I was trying. And so I don't know. But
So how much into your cycle did you take a test and you got a positive?
but I didn't even have a missed period yet. So it was like a week before my period had started. And I remember that night I was like, like maybe I want to take a test, but they say you're supposed to do it with your first morning pee. And then so I was like, okay, like I'm gonna take one in the morning. So then I woke up that morning and I just felt like I'm gonna take a test today. So then I took it, and usually like I take them like I'll take them with my boyfriend, my partner, and like every single time I would just like take it with him, like okay, like let's take a test, like let's just see. But then that morning, like I just woke up and I decided like I'm gonna take it by myself. So I woke up, I took the test, and I was like, okay, like whatever. I went back to sleep and I went back to the test. And they say like you're not supposed to like let it like sit longer than like 10 minutes because then like it could give you like a false positive or whatever. But I was just like, whatever. I took it, went back to sleep, and then I woke up and like I went to it and I was like come here like come here right now because he was in the living room, and so I texted him. I was like, come here now, like urgent, like now. So then he came and I was like, what the heck? And it was like very faintly positive, like very faint. So I was like, okay. So I was like, go to the store right now, get like the digital one that says like pregnant or like not pregnant. So then like he went and then like I took the test and like we literally sat there and stared at the test until it like popped up whatever it was going to say because it was like blinking, like it had like four like lights and like like when it's like thinking like so and then it said pregnant and it was just like it was just a crazy it was so crazy because I haven't even had like my missed period yet, but like I just like knew, like I felt like I just like knew, like I want to take a test. I want to take a test.
Yeah.
Um, like it was crazy. Like we instantly just started crying. Like he like yelled. He was like, "Oh!" Like so. I think it was just like, well, and like we weren't recording either, like our instant reactions, and so I think it was just in the moment of how we were feeling. Like, oh my gosh, like
It was meant to be like that.
yeah, it was, it was beautiful. Yeah. Like finding out, and it just passed on the 14th of January was a year that we found out that we were pregnant.
Aw, how cute. That was like, yeah, a couple days ago.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then he was born in August. Aw.
Yeah.
When was his due date? September something?
September 24th.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's
Hmm.
like 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay because he has the best birthday ever, honestly.
Yes. A shared birthday with you.
Oh, okay.
That's so cool.
There, it is the best birthday because it's in summer at the end. So everyone can come to the birthday party and it's before you go back to school. So it's like the best
You
birthday.
go off, go back to school with a bang. Like I just had my birthday. I just had my birthday party. Yeah.
Like a reset. It's like new year, new me. And he's gonna
And
be
he's gonna be
feisty. I
so
know. Yeah, he's a Leo. He's gonna be a little feisty one.
yes. Coming from two Pisces parents, like me and dad are both Pisces, to
Oh,
have a Leo, we're in for one. We are
no,
in for one.
that's so funny because Franz is a Pisces and
Uh-huh.
he used to be so offended by everything I said and like did because he's like, you're just too much. You're too much. And I'm like,
Gosh.
you are just like not enough. Like you're too like emotional for me.
You take everything too seriously.
Yeah, and I'm over here just like the most sarcastic person ever. He's like, I can never tell when you're serious or not. And I'm like, okay, like that was tough to navigate, like so
Yeah.
opposite.
But
Oh God.
that's good. That's good. At least he'll be learning that in his household. Like, oh gosh, I'm raised by Pisces.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll come out different for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
So, is there anything that you would do differently next time or that you would have done differently in this pregnancy?
So I think for next time, that's a good question. I think for next time, I think just be more gentle with myself. I think I was constantly like, oh I don't want to get stretch marks. I don't want this to happen. Like, oh my gosh, I'm getting boobs. I'm getting stretch marks on my boobs. Like,
Mm.
I was just always like so scared of the change of like what was going on like outside of my body and the way it looked. Um, so I think just being like more gentle with myself of like it's okay, like all these things are going to happen and like it's meant to happen. Um, but I think that was just like hard for me because I feel like I was really like I need to look like this, I need to weigh this much, I can't eat this, or if I eat too much of this, then I'm not going to eat this, or like I'm just not going to eat for the rest of the day. But being pregnant, like you have to eat, like you have to,
Yeah.
like make sure like you're taking care of like not only yourself, but like you're growing a little baby. And so I think that was like hard to fight in my mind. And like sometimes like my partner would be like, oh, like what'd you eat today? And I'd be like, oh, I haven't ate yet. And it'd be like 2 p.m. And he's like, okay, like you have our baby, like you need to be eating. And I'm like, okay. So I think that was like hard for me because like even though like I was so happy of like I'm growing a new life, I think I was also just like my body's changing, you know? Um, so I think that was hard.
Yeah, I
Uh,
feel like being young too and going through that, and it's like everyone our age is looking a certain way or doing certain things with their life, and to think that you are growing a baby, your life is changing, and also like your body is just transforming. But like
mhm.
remembering that it can go back to the way it was before, but if it doesn't, it's like yeah, it might be annoying or like uncomfortable, but it's like that brought you this, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
like, one thing that I always said, because I got stretch, like really bad stretch marks when I was young,
Mhm.
my whole thing was if I had a baby from this, I would never hate my stretch marks, um,
Mhm.
because it brought me something.
Yeah.
But I have my stretch marks because I got pumped full of prednisone. So, like, I hate but if I one day when I do have a baby, like that will be my thought. Like these stretch marks brought me this baby. It was easier to grow with them. So
Mhm.
like it's so I don't know. I think stretch marks are beautiful on other people. It's just I hate them on me. And I think that's a lot of women. So
Yeah, I think it's just like the change and stuff. Like when I got the stretch, like, cause first I got stretch marks like on my underboob, and I cried. I literally cried, cause like I had stretch marks from when I was younger, of like just like growing. But I think like it was just like I don't know what it was. I think it was just like mentally. But like now it's okay. Like now I'm like, oh, it's okay. Like it's just my body, you know.
yeah.
So. And
You
looking at it like that too, of like I got my baby, and like my partner, like dad, he always tells me that too. Like it's okay, like we have our baby and he's healthy, like it's okay. And so I think that's like helpful.
Yeah, I think that's something people don't talk about too. It's like your boobs grow very large when you have a baby, and if you continue to breastfeed and pump and everything. And
Mhm.
like, I have very small boobs, and gonna have to grow, you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I most likely will get stretch marks on them because this cannot feed a child. So, so
No,
it's,
they're definitely gonna grow. I think
yeah,
that's
like,
the first thing that grows is your boobs.
yeah, okay. I didn't even think about that. It's like, yeah, I'll probably get stretch marks there because that's obviously something that happens along the way. But
Yeah.
it's beautiful because who else has something on your body that grows into a food product? Hmm.
Yes. I literally have milk in my boobs that feed my baby. So,
Right? Isn't that
yeah.
so weird? That's so
It's
weird. Like,
it's so
okay,
crazy.
you're just walking around with that. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's crazy. Like if you just like really just like sit there and think like, dang, like my body grew this. It literally made bones. It has all the like hair, like literally like veins in their body. Like I just think that's crazy. And then they come out and then your body is producing milk, food for them, like everything that they need to survive, like you have. And so I think that's just crazy.
No,
Mind
it's
blown.
so amazing. It's like when you put it like that too, it's like you literally had like nothing and then it grew all of its organs. It comes out with hair. It has like gums and I don't know. So
Yeah,
strange. So strange.
eyeballs. Like,
Eyeballs, like fingernails. It's
yeah, it's crazy. It's mind blowing. It's crazy. It's crazy what the body can do, like a woman's body can
yeah,
do. So, not just a body, a woman's
a
body.
woman's body can do for sure. But I'll let you get back to your little baby. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. I love this. I love this conversation. A lot of people really do like hearing about pregnancy and especially complicated pregnancies, which for you sounds like it went pretty smooth, which is amazing, which is really good.
Yes. I would say it went pretty smooth until the end because he was preemie. So like just like towards like the end, it wasn't so smooth. But yes, the whole like first 29 weeks, great.
Yeah. Did you give birth vaginally or did you have a C-section?
No, I had a C-section.
Okay.
Um yeah, my I had a what's it called a placental eruption. Um and so that was scary. But yeah, he was emergency C-section. I didn't get like I wasn't awake during the C-section. I They put me like fully to sleep. Dad wasn't in the room or anything. I just got put to sleep, and I woke up 2 hours later, and yeah, I didn't get to see baby for I think 2 days. I gave birth on Monday, and I saw him one day actually. I saw him Tuesday night. Um, so yeah.
I'm sure that was so hard.
Yeah, I think that was just like that was probably the only hard part about the pregnancy is like the last 2 weeks of him. Like I went to like labor and delivery 2 times. That's like emergency room for like when you're pregnant. You go to like labor and delivery. So that's a good thing is like when you're pregnant, you have to go to the regular emergency room. They have like a special emergency room for you. For all pregnant women. Um, I went there twice because my blood pressure was like going crazy. And then when I had him, yeah, didn't get to see him for a little bit, but he was okay. Everything was okay. And it was just like I feel like just like God like watching over us that like whole entire time because that day I had my baby shower and then on Monday he came. My partner was supposed to go to work that day, but then like the on Sunday I was like just call in tomorrow because like we were so exhausted from the baby shower like
Mhm.
planning and then having it and then it was just exhausting. And he was like, okay. So then I woke up that morning and he was still here. He was like, oh, there's a leak in the garage. So I just decided to stay home from work. And I was like, okay. And then like, a couple hours later, like that's when like, cause I just like went to the bathroom and like I had like a cramp and like I was just like bleed. Like I woke up and like there was just like blood, like a lot of blood. And so like we rushed to the hospital, but then he had to come back home for like to get like supplies and stuff. And like there was no leak in the garage. And so like I felt like it was just like weird, like there's still no leak in the garage, like there hasn't been a leak in the garage.
Uh,
Yeah,
That's
so I just feel like it was just like God like watching over us, like, no, you need to stay home because something's going to happen. And then just like, I don't know, with our baby, like no complications in the NICU. It was just like meeting all of his NICU checkpoints, checkoffs for him to go home, and like that's what he was doing. And so I think it was just like, yeah, it was just like it just like made us like more thankful and blessed to like for him to be here and stuff. So
yeah. Well, I'm
mhm.
so happy for you.
Yeah.
So, 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 so happy for you guys.
And all the prayers to you for your journey, and I know it's going to happen very, very soon for you. I can feel it.
Yes, I'm gonna personally call you when it happens one day. I'm just
Yes,
gonna
no,
text you and I'm gonna
please.
be like, guess what?
FaceTime me. I'm gonna need the facial expressions to see it.
It's just me crying, and I'm just like, it's happening.
Nadia.
Yes, but thank you again so much. I appreciate you, and I'm so happy for you guys, and I can't wait to watch him grow through Instagram.
Yes. And then whenever you're in Modesto, please let me know.
I will. I will. All right. Well, bye. Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Of course. Bye.